you paint this picture of a future that's quite scary. How soon do you expect that future to be here? Are we talking about 2 years, 20 years, 200 years? I mean, how soon could we be dealing with digital dictatorships?
I think that the time scale is decades. I mean, in 200 years, I guess there won't be any sapiens left. There'll be something completely different. 2 years, it's far too soon. So we're talking about a few decades. Nobody knows exactly how many.
Right. Now, you're unusual because you actually stood up on that stage and you said, I don't know what the answer is. Okay, that's not something you hear a lot at the World Economic Forum. It's admirably humble. But I'm curious, as you look around the world today, do you see any countries or any groups of people or any academic groups that seem to be having a sensible debate about this? Do you see any reason for encouragement at all?
Well, I think the world is divided into a very, very small group of people and institutions who understand what is happening and what is at stake, and the vast majority, not just of ordinary people, but even of politicians and business people who are not really, yes, they hear about data, data protection, there are cyber attacks, somebody might steal my identity or my bank account details, but that, again, as I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think that my guess, I don't know, but I guess that some of the big corporations, like Google, like Facebook, the usual suspects, they understand what is at stake. I also think that some governments, especially the Chinese government, I think they understand what is at stake. I think certainly most humans have no idea.
Right.
Again, the thing is, just to make it clear, it's the biometric data is the key. When people think about data, they mostly think about where I go, what I buy. When they think about hacking, they think about computers. They talk about AI, about machine learning. They forget the other side of the equation, which is the life sciences, the brain sciences. The brain sciences are giving us access to here. This is what we really tried. What somebody is really trying to hack is this, not this.
Right. I mean, China is interesting because I remember sitting at a table a few years ago in Davos with a senior Chinese official and we were arguing about democracy, and he said, well, you in the West have democracy, we have social media. And the point was that Chinese government is using social media to not just monitor its citizens, but also act as a weather vane to gather information about what's happening in terms of public sentiment and ensure that they stay 1 inch ahead of that to stop any explosions. Do you see China as a place where this type of digital dictatorship is most likely to emerge?
Well, I don't know. As I said, as I gave examples, you have cases in the West. And I know maybe best about my own country, that Israel is building a real total surveillance regime in the West Bank, which is something we haven't seen almost anywhere in history before, of really trying to follow every place, every individual. And we still haven't crossed the critical watershed of the biometric sensor. Whether it's in the US, in Israel, in China, it's still social media. It's still my mobile phone. It's still where I go, what use I make of my credit card. We still don't really have the technology to go inside, but we are maybe 5 years, 10 years away from having the technology. So maybe to give an extreme example, let's say you live in North Korea, and you have to wear this bracelet which constantly monitors what is happening inside your body. And you walk into a room and you see the picture of the dear leader on the wall, and the bracelet can know what is happening to your brain, to your blood pressure, as you see this picture. So this really what is meant by a digital dictatorship.